Today I want to release this quick video because we just been into the LMA magazine, the Light Metal Age magazine, and on the August edition, we released a really nice article or paper that we wrote with some more friends. And we've been talking about the aluminum trends on the secondary aluminum industry in the US. So I just want to go through the article and let you know what is this about. We've been talking about post-consumer scrap, process scrap, and also about a little bit more about the carbon footprint, the greenhouse emissions, but also we've been talking about, or we talked about the technology that is I will say, the tool that the North American aluminum recycling industry needs right now in order to go to the trend that we are seeing at this point in the industry, and that will help to reach those goals that we have for 2050. So the idea is to go to the net zero, right? So let me bring you the article and let me take you through the article so you can understand a little bit better how is our approach, how we think, or why we think the technology is the best friend right now for the industry to move in the direction of reduce the CO2 emissions. And again, the idea is to help the secondary industry, not to compare the secondary industry with the primary one, because then we will see not too many difference between what we are seeing right now or what we saw in the last 2 years and what we will see in the future. So let's dig in, let's move this forward, and hopefully you will have time to read the article. Please let us know your comments. I think it's going to be a really good input from your point of view, and it is going to be a really good input for us to understand your point of view, to understand what you think about the article, to understand what you think about what we are proposing here as a trend. And from the technology point of view, talking about technology wise, is very interesting to understand what type of technology we will see here in the US and what are those, let's say, technology approaches that will help the industry to move in the direction that we want to move. So let's dig in. Let me share my screen very fast so you can understand a little bit better how this works. So just give me 1 second. Okay, here we are. So as you can see, this is the August 2024 edition of the magazine Light Metal Age, and well, I am very happy that they are using some of our pictures here. And if I am not wrong, let me go to the page 39. I think is the one that we have our article there. I'm pretty okay, the 38. So if you go to the 38 page, you will see that we have the trends in the secondary aluminum cast houses, that this is what we want to talk about, right? So we have Alicia Hartliff and Martin Hartliff from Biami International Inc. Alicia is Martin's daughter, and she been in the industry for a while already. She is very young, but she been working with people like Subol Dash. They've been doing a really nice articles and papers talking about decarbonization, talking about CO2 emissions, talking about the CO2 emissions contents in the scrap, post-consumer and process scrap, and the real way to approach to understand what is the content of this CO2 in those scrap, in order to understand very well how we really can say, hey, this is zero or not zero CO2 emissions while we are doing the recycling process. So getting into this, I will not read the article, make no sense to me, but and obviously this is Julio Quintero, that is me, that I am part of Conticast Hormesa. And just to be clear, this is not an episode of Dirty Scrap. This is more an approach about what we can do as a company for the North American market. So in the introduction, we will see how the secondary cast houses been moving together with the global trends, and what is going to be this, let's say, carbon footprint recycling process, how we can approach from the point of view of the recycling in order to understand, hey, what are these steps that we are taking in order to understand how we can reduce the CO2 emissions, but also how we can integrate certain technology in order to be more profitable. Because at the end, it's not just about to reduce the CO2 emissions or the greenhouse gases, but also is to understand how we can make these companies in the US market to be more profitable and reliable for the next 5-10 years, right? So if we go through this, you will see the process, you will understand the different type of scrap that we have. You will understand as well what is this, let's say, difference between the post-consumer scrap and the processed scrap, and also we will understand a little bit better what is the CO2 content in these two different types of scrap. Now, saying that, okay, let's go to the next page. Okay, we have some publicity here. I will not stop there. This is one of some of the technology that we can offer here, but you will see it later. I don't want to this be like a commercial video. It's not my purpose. So if you understand what are the trends and the challenges of the secondary cows houses, you will understand better how to approach to it. So saying that, the idea of the technologies that we will see in the future here is going to be related to, and as I said in several videos before, and as we talk with several people in the past in our Dirty Scrap of Aluminum podcast and in some other videos, is how we can clean the material to a certain way that will allow to the cast houses to introduce more and more post-consumer scrap. That's the goal, because as we can see right now, post-consumer scrap is something that is increasing a lot, and is the goal at the end is try to use as much as we can into our recycling process to produce high quality aluminum alloy. So let me go through the secondary cast houses in the United States. What we used to do, or what we used to see in this aluminum industry, is we used to use a lot of the aluminum ingots coming from the primary side in order to produce high quality alloy. And we used to have low quality alloys when we use more and more post-consumer scrap. Why? Several reasons. First of all, alloy content or alloying elements. Then we will see a lot of byproducts production or creation, that is dross, salt cake, what is it? Salt cake and black dross. I don't remember very well, sorry about that. But then you will have salt cake, you will have dross. That is the result of fluxes. When you use fluxes, you will create salt cake. But also when you use aluminum that is not completely clean, you will create a lot of oxide, right? And also you will help yourself with the technology that is not high technology, because you will use a lot of, let's say, heat. So you will increase the temperature, so the aluminum liquid metal will peak more oxygen out of the atmosphere. So we will create more dross, that is aluminum oxide. Now, saying that, remember, the goal on the secondary aluminum cast houses in the United States is to introduce more and more post-consumer scrap into the process but keeping the high quality aluminum products, that is a semi-final product, because at the end what we will do is create slabs, billets, ingots, or saws that then the foundries will use in order to create the final product for the final consumer, right? So let's talk about a little bit about the technology. Certainly, the technology that we need to focus right now is, and I will say this very fast, and because I don't want to make a huge video, I want you to go through the article and make your own perception and perspective. And then I really want to encourage you guys to give us your feedback, because this is something that we really want to understand, how the people is seeing everything out there, and how these different type of approaches can give us more and more knowledge to be better. So sorting and cleaning is something that you really need to understand. Sorting is the separation of the different type of alloys and the contamination you have in those type of scrap, in order to reduce the contamination and in order to have a better let's say melting process in order to create the right alloy. So when you can segregate the alloys in the different type of the aluminum scrap in the different type of alloys, it's going to be easier for you, so it's going to be cheaper as well to produce the aluminum that you want to produce, ingot shape, saws, billets or slabs, or even rod, right? This is the coating system. The coating system works very simple. The idea is to have like a heating source to take out all the water and the organic material. And organic material is going to be oil, paint, thin films, whatever it is in those type of scrap, post-consumer scrap, you want to take it out, because if you don't, what you will create is a lot of dross. Then we will have different type of furnace, but what you really want to focus is in this table that you can see there. Why? We have different type of furnaces approaches, because at the end what you can do is to play with the furnace design in order to have a flexible equipment that will allow you to use more post-consumer scrap. We are talking here about the multi-chamber furnace, but we add in this furnace a certain type of afterburner system in order to create a circular economy equipment that allowed us to clean it up all the fumes and all the black smoke that is coming from the organic material. We clean it up, but we then recirculate everything inside the furnace because we are creating energy. So the first, let's say, or the second approach, or the first approach, let's go by steps. Sorting, cleaning, the lacquering processes, and then energy recovery systems that you can integrate into your furnace or your whole process. Why? Because it's not just about how we can clean the material and create more aluminum recoveries out of the same volume, but it's also about how we can use the energy we are producing into the process in order to lower down the energy consumption, in order to be more, let's say, circular economy approach, in order to reduce the bills at the end of the month. But then the third focus should be how we can match, and you can see it here in this table, how you can match the right technology with the type of scrap that you want to melt down. The idea here is to understand aluminum recoveries. Aluminum recoveries come from two different places. Cleaning and sorting, and obviously cleaning because you will take out all the dirt, all the organic material and contamination you have, but also from the melting process. And the melting process is very important because you need to understand how to melt the material into the right furnace in order to increase more than, let's say, up to 98, 99% your melting efficiency. So this is what you really want to focus on. So again, this is an article that we wrote in order to help you guys to understand what are the trends, how to relate the CO2 emissions between post-consumer scrap and processed scrap, and how to relate the different type of scraps with the right technology, the right process, and how to create a circular economy inside your facility. That's the goal. And if you go and understand this approach, believe me, your company will be profitable, will be on the trend, you will be able to make a step forward from the industry we have now to the industry that we want to build. I'm Julio Quintero. Please take a look on the article. We will keep the link below in the description so you can go and check the article. It's the Light Metal Age Magazine, August edition 2024. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend. See you later. Bye-bye.